Hi and welcome to another video game review. Before I start, I just want to thank Chris Halsbeck for the music for our brand new intro sequence that will be appearing in all our future videos from now on. Anyway, on with the review, and this time we're going to take a look at the Deadpool table for Zen Pinball 2 for the PlayStation Vita from Zen Studios. Over 70 tables were released for the various pinball titles from Zen Studios for the PS Vita over the years, before the series was finally cancelled when development moved over to the next-gen consoles with Pinball FX3. That didn't stop an incredibly diverse range of tables coming to the handheld, including countless licensed games for the Star Wars and Marvel franchises. That brings me on to the Deadpool table, released in 2014. At the time, Zen Studios were concentrating most of their efforts on their Star Wars tables, so this was a welcome return to the Marvel franchise. Bringing out a table dedicated to the Merc with a Mouth at the time was a bold choice. While plans for a movie dated back 10 years before the table's release, the character didn't really become known to mainstream audiences until more recently thanks to Ryan Reynolds' movies, so this was certainly an interesting choice, and one that wasn't going to be as big a success commercially as those tables that had come before it. On a personal level, apart from the appearance in Wolverine Origins, I'd had no previous encounter with Deadpool. I knew the antics of the fourth wall-breaking anti-hero, but that was as far as it went. That being the case, I did wonder how that would affect my enjoyment of the game. Did I really need to be a fan of Deadpool to enjoy playing this table, or could it stand on its own merits? One thing that people come to expect with Zen's licensed tables is the sound and characters. As always, Deadpool himself is extremely well animated, but understandably there's no Ryan Reynolds behind the digital mask. Instead, Nolan North has stepped up to the microphone to provide the voice. No stranger to the PlayStation family, as gamers know, but he's also not a novice when it comes to Deadpool either, having voiced the character before in video games and animated shows. Good call on that one, Zen. As you'd expect, points are built up from shooting the ball into various traps and ramps scattered around the table, which is decorated with various characters and illustrations taken from or inspired by the comics. What makes Deadpool stand out is the main character himself. Usually in a Zen Pinball table, the 3D characters only come to life when the sub-games are activated, which happens when balls are launched into specific targets or ramps when particular on-table conditions have been met. Not in Deadpool. Instead, he's present on the table throughout the game, continually making comments, walking about, taunting the player and making wisecracks. Typically, he's fully aware that he is in a game and makes references to such throughout play. While the dialogue and animations may repeat after a while, they never grow tiresome, and it's thanks to the perfectly timed delivery from Nolan North that makes this work so well. It adds a whole new dimension to the table in a way that no other has done before or since. The graphics in Deadpool are absolutely stunning, from the incredibly detailed table graphics to all of the animated characters, everything is flawless. The comic book created perfectly for the table, complete with plenty of small visual details that you may not spot on your first playthroughs. But most importantly, in this instance, Deadpool himself has been brought to life in exactly the way that the game needs to keep in line with the character. When it comes to the attention to detail with the presentation, this is most evident in one of the comic issues that you play. During the first issue sub-game, Deadpool is chased by an angry mob of comic book fans. You look closely at all three of the fans who you have to defeat. Each is wearing a different Marvel Comics t-shirt. There's no impact on the gameplay or deeper meaning to it, but it's just a little touch that shows the level of care and attention taken with the game. In terms of the gameplay, this is a remarkably solid table. There's plenty of variety and depth in each of the game modes, and enough on the table to keep things interesting at all times. Most importantly, there are no parts of the table that I found led to instant ball loss just by accident, or if the ball clipped a target the wrong way. I've played tables in the past where it's all too easy to lose a ball without even getting the chance to flip it. That's not the case with Deadpool, and you know that if you lose the ball, it's almost always down to your own playing ability. As always, there are two multiplayer modes. The traditional round table format, where players take turns once a ball is lost, similar to that of a regular pinball machine. The second is an online mode where players compete with an unlimited number of balls, but have to reach a predetermined target score before any of the other players. A progress bar at the top of the screen displays each of the players' positions compared to each other. and while you don't interact with each other, the competitive nature of this mode still makes it great fun to play. A time-based variant is also present, but I found the score-based mode more enjoyable. Just like all of the other tables in the series, this is cross-buy with the PlayStation 3, although I have to say that it does play better on the Vita, with very little differences between the two visually. The online modes aren't cross-play compatible, but they do share online high scores if you play on both systems. Of all the tables released for Zen Pinball 2, this is probably one of my favourites, and apart from Spider-Man and the Star Wars releases, this is the one I tend to play the most. It's addictive, fast-paced, features great graphics and sound, and above all else is great fun, and that's what matters at the end of the day. It easily ranks as being one of the top 10 tables for Zen Pinball 2, and should be an essential purchase to add to your collection. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with another review soon.
So long! Don't let the door kick in the... Remember, all ages game. Derriere, posterior, nether region, buttocks.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click on the like button and leave us a comment below. Also, spare a moment to share this video on Twitter, Facebook, and all your social media pages. To get updates on all of our latest videos delivered straight to your inbox, subscribe now using the link on the screen.